BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is your number one sports betting source for the new year. Every touchdown, three-pointer, and hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
What's up, Tiger fans? Welcome back to another episode of Tiger Talk TV. I am the Corey C. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and turn on those notifications so you do not miss a single upcoming episode. We're on the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast. So be sure to follow the show and tell every Tiger that you know. And remember, when you support Tiger Talk TV, it all helps the cause, which is the I love Jackson State University. And I got a sniper in the booth with me, a straight sniper, a three-point sniper. Let's bring her up. DB, Diaka Berete. Welcome to Tiger Talk TV.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. How you doing? How's everything going?
I'm I'm doing good. Everything's good. Can't complain.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, the fans have been dying to get to know you, just blown away with your performances with this Lady Tiger team. We want to get to that. But first, start us off with a fun fact. Help us get to know you. Tell us something about DB outside of basketball, something interesting, funny, even embarrassing if you want to go there.
Well, I'm from Toronto. I spent most of my childhood in Toronto. An interesting fact about me is I've been to Africa for 4 years.
Wow.
So, that's like a part of my personality. That's why I carry myself the way I do. So,
Wow.
that's an interesting fact. I've lived
Yeah,
in
that's
Africa for 4 years.
interesting.
I speak
So,
French a little.
okay. Talk a little bit about Africa and that experience. What was the purpose of that and how old were you?
Honestly, so my mom is a single mother. She had three of us, and she decided to send two of us back home, me and my older brother. So we did go back home. We spent 4 years of our lives there. And, we learned a lot of things, and that just shaped me into the person I am today. And it was a good experience for me because it made me see a whole different side of the world and a whole, different side of myself, and made me just appreciate what I have more. So,
Indeed.
yeah, yep. Came back to Canada, got back into my routine. At one point, English was my second language, so I had to like
Mm,
go back to making it my first. And then,
mhm,
while I was in Canada, I fell in love with sports. I
mhm,
started playing soccer at first, and I was really good at soccer. I used to be on the whole men's team,
mm,
but soccer wasn't like a sport you played all through like the season. Like in the winter, you can't play soccer, right? It's
mhm,
not like seasonal and stuff. So that's when I started playing basketball. I started playing indoor basketball, and I actually liked playing basketball. I was in a whole league full of boys,
mm,
and I took interest towards it. And in middle school, I played it. I made the team, and I was a star in middle school, like grade 7 and 8. Like, I was like the star of my team. And then I think in grade 8, I'm like, you know what, like, maybe I should take basketball serious. So during high school, I started taking it serious. I was scoring a lot. I was playing a
mhm,
lot, and I was doing really good. And that's when like I realized like after high school, you know, I can get a scholarship, and
mhm,
basketball could be life. So I would say grade 9, grade 10, I played it, and then grade 11, I really, really, really seen myself potentially playing basketball for a long time and going to college with it. So I had to lock in with school, and then the basketball part just came easy. And the goal was to get a scholarship and to go play basketball in the United States. And I was blessed with an opportunity to do so. So now I'm
Wow.
here. Yeah.
Great story. Great story. So soccer and then basketball, were those the only two sports?
I mean, I know how to play every other sport. Like
Okay.
name a sport, I'm good at it. Like
Like
volleyball,
that, huh?
good at it.
Okay. Okay.
Played
Wow.
volleyball in middle school. Played softball in middle school. Played football. I know how to play football. I
Okay.
know how to play every single sport.
Just an athlete. Is your
Just an
brother as
athlete.
well an athlete? It's like it does
Yeah.
run in the family?
I mean,
Okay.
he plays it, but he's not serious with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When you got serious with basketball, did you leave those other sports alone or did you continue to play them all the way through high school?
I mean, in middle school, I did play all of the sports, like every sport team I was on it. And then in high school, I couldn't juggle. I couldn't juggle all those sports, so I just decided to stick with basketball, and that's what I did. Yeah.
One thing that stands out about you when we watch you, and you already know where I'm going, is that shooting.
hmm
Is that something that came naturally, or is that something that you just worked on and developed over time and got better?
Honestly, like I'm just a basketball player, so it's just like whatever I gotta do to score is what I'm gonna do, right? So I would say high school, my game was more like, getting in the lane, driving, going to get layups. Like high school was easy. College, college, I had to change my game around. I had to figure out how I could be, impactful on the court and stuff. So I started getting on the gun, on the shooting gun. And
Mhm.
practice makes perfect. So every time I'd be shooting on the gun in the game, it will come naturally because I'm so used to the rim. Because I've been like putting up like over 100 shots and stuff. So like I feel like shooting was something that came when I started getting on the gun more, the shooting gun. Yeah.
So you can do it all basically. So you're saying you're not don't label you as a shooter. You're a hooper.
I
You're
mean, you
a
could
basketball
label
player.
me
You're a
as a
scorer.
shooter for
You,
sure, for sure. Yeah.
scorers. Sometimes scorers don't like to be labeled as shooters. Even if they can shoot really well, they're like, no, I'm a scorer. So you're whatever. Do whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, the shooter part is something that came along.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Mm.
Like I worked to be the shooter I am today. So like, I don't mind being called a shooter.
How big was, or I guess is, basketball in Toronto, especially compared to the United States? And what's kind of the difference between playing in Canada versus the US?
Um, I wouldn't say it's big. I would just say like, cause a lot of girls in Toronto like they don't play basketball for some reason. Like,
Mm,
we think it's a men's sport, but it's really not. And a lot of the girls will play sport, but just for fun. Like they wouldn't see anything out of it. And for me, it's like I use basketball as an opportunity to get to where I am today. And that's the difference between, you know, me and a lot of girls in Toronto is, they just played it for fun, but I use it as an opportunity, and it's just like the more you work on your craft, the more opportunities come. So, like
mhm.
I said, I used it as an opportunity, and even though like I didn't have like that much eyes on me, I would say like I didn't have that much resources, and like not a lot of people like paid attention to me because I was a different player back then. I still got an opportunity out of it, and I used that opportunity. You know what I'm
Mhm.
trying to say?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I at first I went JUCO.
Right.
Like JUCO was the first and only opportunity I had, but at the end of the day, like that's what I wanted. I wanted to get out of Toronto. I wanted to
Mhm.
be in America. So once that opportunity came, like I knew the sky was the limit. So after
Yeah,
JUCO, I went NAIA, and then now I'm D1. So it's just
yeah.
like,
Continue
it's like
moving up.
you gotta want it.
Wow,
You
great
gotta
story.
want it.
And we want to dive into each of those stops. So let's start with JUCO. Grayson College in Texas.
Yeah, Grayson College.
Was that your first time? I know you talked about going to Africa for 4 years, but was that your first time going to the United States? Was it for basketball?
No, it wasn't my first time
Okay.
because I did play AUU,
Okay.
and I would travel to different states. I've probably been to like 4 or 5 states for
Okay.
AU. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you were familiar with the United States. So talk about
Yeah.
transitioning to Grayson College in Texas and being in living now living in the United States instead of just visiting for a tournament. What was that transition like?
Honestly, it was a huge transition. Like, at the end of the day, like I said, I was a whole different player back then. Like before, I could say like I was more like reserved. Like the confidence wasn't all the way there, and
Mhm.
like I knew I had talent, but in some games it would be hard for me to show people that, to show my coach that I'm talented, or to show, the outsiders that I'm talented and stuff. So my first year there, that was my biggest struggle. Like, identity, like knowing, how to play my game and like play with confidence, but it's just like it wasn't there, right? So yeah, that was the biggest thing. I had to get used to that. I had to overcome that. And JUCO helped me with that. It helped me like develop as a player.
Mhm.
And that basically helped me with the NAIA part, cuz when I played NAIA, my confidence was there. And it was also because of my coach. Like, my coach made me feel like a great player, like, the great a great player. And he said, like, it's okay to make mistakes. Like, and once the coach puts confidence in you, like the skies is the limit for real. So I started playing and I started like scoring. I started feeling comfortable within myself. Like it was a good feeling.
Wow.
So yeah,
You- And you were there at Grayson for 2 years, right?
2 years, yeah.
Okay. When you left, what would you say was the difference between your game by the time you left versus when you arrived? I know you kind of touched on that a little bit, but the specific improvements, how were you a better player?
Honestly, I learned how to be a better person too. Like,
Mm,
I learned how to build my work ethic. Cause once you're on a team, like it's all about the team. You gotta find time to get yourself better. So that's how I separated myself. I would get in the gym, I would work, and that helped me onto the next level, because it's like I was in the gym, I was working hard, I was getting better.
mhm.
So being better helped at NAIA. Like I said, the confidence also just, it was out the roof. So that definitely helped too. And then just being around a good coaching staff and
Mhm.
around a good school, that also helped my game.
All right. And then from there, you talk about the leap to NAIA, talk about that next step, that move, the University of Science and Arts, Oklahoma. How'd that come about, and what was that experience like over there?
That's another thing. That's another journey after JUCO. My first year, the first year, I feel like, the first year was a learning experience. I could have did better, but I did what I could. The second year, I felt I had a better year. And after JUCO, there wasn't really no opportunities knocking at my door.
Hmm.
And luckily, the coach from the USAO reached out to me, and he told me, he wanted me at the school, and that, he would basically take care of me. And that's what he did. He kept his word. And that's how I ended up at the school with a really good coach. And he brought out a different side of me. Like he brought out,
Hmm.
the best side of me as a player. So the transition was definitely good. Yeah.
How long were you there?
2 years.
Okay.
After the
So,
first year, cause that's the thing too, like after my first year, like when I had a good season and I was actually like playing like, to my potential, I'm like, yo, maybe I could go D1. Maybe
mhm,
I could play at that level. Like, you know? And that's when I started really thinking like the next level. So I had came back for another season to have a better season, so that, maybe my last year I'll be somewhere better, or somewhere where, I can showcase my talent with
mhm.
different people that are, much more talented than me.
Okay. At this point, you had played 4 years, right? Two in JUCO
Hmm.
and two in NAIA. So, but you still had a fifth additional year. So this is when you decided to hit the transfer portal.
Yes, this one I decided that. It's time. It's time to go D1. You're good enough to go D1, and you'll do better. You'll do better at that level. So that's when I decided to lock in and put myself out there.
Were you nervous about that move? Because a lot of times in the transfer portal, players get in there and they get stuck. They
I
never
ain't
make
gonna
it out.
lie.
So were you worried that those offers wouldn't come?
It definitely was. Like, it was a stressful week. And it's just like the situation I was in wasn't like the perfect situation to be in, like a fourth year undergraduate.
Hmm.
It was a tricky situation. It really was. But I had faith. Like, I had faith. I prayed to God about it. And, I believe that, an opportunity will come. And a lot of opportunities came too, but a lot of them weren't the right opportunity.
Hmm.
And, this here ended up being the best opportunity I had, and that's what I took.
Hmm. Talk about Jackson State and Coach Margaret Richards. How did Jackson State get into the picture? Was there a previous relationship with her? Were there connections, or she just did her due diligence and found out about you and she reached out?
I had sent over like 100 clips, like 100 highlights, like name every D1 school, every
Okay.
conference,
Okay.
every coach. Like, I sent emails for days. Like, every day I'm sending an email, like every single day. And Coach Richards ended up being one of those coaches I sent an email to.
Hmm.
And she had reached out. She said, I like your, I like your talent. I like your the way you play. I think you would be a great fit. And from there, we just started having conversations from day to day. And like, like, out of all the coaches, like, she kept in touch. She made sure she kept her words, and she just pursued me.
Hmm.
You know, like, it was different. Like, whatever she was telling me, like, even like without the basketball part, because the basketball part was like the second of my worries. Like, the first thing I was more worried about was the education part, like making
Hmm.
sure I'm able to graduate and making sure my credits transferred over.
Hmm.
And out of
Yep.
all the coaches, like, she made sure the education part was green.
Hmm.
Hmm.
When you first reached out to her, was she still at Alabama A&M, or was she already at Jackson State?
Um, I'm pretty sure she was at Alabama, because I remember emailing people from the Alabama. Like, that's where I got her email from their
Okay.
website.
You said you sent that film out and those emails out to a lot of different, coaches in a lot of different schools. And you don't have to say any names, but do you know if you sent an email or highlights to a school that you've played now since you've been at Jackson State? And I'm asking this because if so, I
A
know
hundred
they're
percent.
regretting it. Okay. So
A
did you give
hundred
them the
percent.
business? Did you give them the business? You don't have to say a name. Did you make them
I
regret it?
mean, hey, who knows? You know, at the end of the day, I'm here now, right? So
Mhm.
that's all that matters. But yeah, for sure,
Absolutely.
I've sent film to teams I've played before. Yeah, I'm
All
like,
right.
wow, that could have been.
So prior to coming to Jackson State, or prior to being so Coach Margaret Richards goes to Jackson State. She stays in contact with you. She's like, okay, I'm at Jackson State now. Were you
Hmm.
familiar with Jackson State at that point prior to her going to Jackson State? Were you familiar with the SWAC and HBCU basketball in
Nope,
general?
I
Okay,
wasn't familiar with, nope, or nothing.
okay,
Like,
okay.
it was all new to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, everything was new to me. I'm Canadian, so I didn't even know what HBCU was, or like how there is HBCU schools and stuff, yet alone a whole, D1 program that's a HBCU. Like, that was all shocking to me.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Talk about that transition. Yet another transition. You've gone from Canada to Africa, from Canada to Texas and Oklahoma and all these places. Now you're in Mississippi. What was that
Hmm.
transition like?
I mean, it was hot when I got here,
Hot. Okay.
so
It's hot.
yeah. I mean, at this point, like, I'm used to it. You
Hmm.
know, I know how to adapt quick. Like, I've been in the basketball world. I know what it's like. So at this point, it's like a piece of cake.
Hmm.
So, like, adjusting was quick. And my teammates made it fun too, so props to
Okay.
them for that. But yeah, like the change in the environment, it's like I'm so used to it. Like realistically, ever since I've been in college, like being back home, like it's like I want to leave as soon as I get
Hmm.
there. Like it never
Really?
bothered me. I don't really get homesick. Like I
Mm.
really don't. Like if anything, I'd rather be out here. Like I feel like there's more here for me. I'm doing
Wow.
better here, and I'm becoming a better version of myself when I'm away from everything that's back home.
That's
So yeah, that
awesome.
never bothered me.
So you said it was hot when you got here. Apparently it was the summertime, but now being in the
Mhm.
winter, it's gotten a little bit colder. Compare this weather to Canada because people here are complaining about how cold it is. But what is it like in Canada during the winter?
I mean, this ain't nothing compared to Canada, but at the same time, I don't miss like 5 winters.
Hmm.
When I go back to Toronto during the
Okay.
winter, it's for like a week. But
Hmm.
I'd be ready. Like I have my jacket, my gloves, my mask, and everything. I'd be ready. I don't like the cold at all. I'm not used to it. So when it's cold, like I have my jacket on. People be looking at me like it ain't even that cold. I'm like, it definitely
Right.
is that cold.
Right.
The weather is nothing compared to Toronto. It's nothing here.
Was there anything that surprised you about Mississippi or Jackson State once you got here?
Yeah, actually, yes. Like Jackson itself surprised me because I wasn't expecting. I don't know. I wasn't expecting to be like. I'm not. I don't want to call it old, but like like a place that looked like it's been here for a long time. Like things are not like new, if that makes
Modern,
sense. Modern, yeah.
more
Like I didn't.
historic.
Yes, it's more. Yes, that's the word. Like there's old buildings and all that stuff. Like I didn't expect to be on this side of um Mississippi, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
Because like I said, I was in Oklahoma, right, and I was in
Hmm.
Texas, and I was like near like where there's a lot of things going on and stuff. And here it's like more quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me something that you really liked about Mississippi or Jackson State right away once you got here.
Um, the soul food.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, the
that
soul
gets people
food.
every time.
And I think the people too. The people around here are really nice.
Hmm.
And it's like I usually run into like more like the elder people,
Yeah.
and they're actually really nice. Like they're not afraid to come and talk to you. They're not afraid to say hi. And yeah, like I like that. Like the people
Right.
here they're nice.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And then talk about the culture and the atmosphere at Jackson State, the school specifically, kind of compared to
Mhm.
your previous stops. Because I know it's a completely different world being in HBCU versus your other schools.
For sure. Like the HBCU experience is good. Like I got to learn a lot about, my culture that I didn't even know about. And it's just like all these different fun and just everything around the campus is like it's fun, but you're also learning new things. And like I said, like the Jackson State community, like if they feel like family, like
Mm,
the alumni, all of that. Like, I
yeah.
love the community for sure.
And you talked about people speaking to you and just how people come up to you and things like that. Was that before they started recognizing you as the basketball player? And if so, has that increased now that they know who you are in terms of on the court?
Nah, nah. They like some people didn't even know I played basketball, and like they had the same energy.
Mm,
And I don't think I get any other recognition. Like
wow.
it's the same recognition I would get is the same recognition.
Wow.
I still get, but definitely people are telling me they see what I'm doing and like that I'm doing a good job. But that's normal.
Mhm. All right. So DB, obviously, you come into a new team, new coaching staff, new system, new everything. So talk about the learning curve and just everybody coming together and being able to gel so fast. Why do you think this team has been able to have so much success early on, especially in conference play?
Honestly, is the non-conference build us for this. Like we done been through so much, like so much adversity, so much ups and downs, so much work was put into it, so much so much. I don't want to say negativity, but a
Mhm.
couple of negativity. A lot of positivity. Like, it's just been a roller coaster. It's just been
Mhm.
a lot, and it's like to the point where like we needed this. Like at this point, we deserved it. Like, like non-conference. Like we was getting beat left and right. Like
Mhm.
people thought we was a bad team, but
Mhm.
look, they didn't understand. Like it was a whole new team, a whole nother coaching staff. We didn't know each other as
Mhm.
players. Like we didn't even like for myself. I can say like I was still trying to figure out my role and my identity on the team. Like I was lost. I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
like what am I supposed to do? You blame everyone but yourself. So it's just like everyone was still trying to figure out what they could do on this team, what is too much, what is perfect and stuff. Like we was still trying to figure each other out and figure ourselves out. So it's just like that showed like, we weren't the team we are now. So
Mhm.
it's just like I said, we done been through it all, and that build us for conference. We had to go through it. We had to take a lot of losses.
Mhm.
So these wins are like, like we earned it for sure.
Yeah. And during that time when you were going through that rough stretch during the non-conference schedule, you said people who didn't believe in you and thought you were a bad team. What did you all think internally? Did you start to lose confidence, or did you know that you figured out and put together, and did you know that you guys really had a good team?
No, from summertime, we knew how good we were, and
Mhm.
we just seen how much good people we had. So much. Every player is good. Like literally, we're like, yo, we have so much
Mhm.
good players, but it's like, how are you gonna put these together? Like, and it was hard putting it all together because it's so much talent. Everyone brings different things to the table, so it's just
Yeah.
like, now how do we put all of this in one? And that comes with like um the coaches assigning us a role. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, we understand you could do this, but this is what we need from you. We need this 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 from you. And we need this from you. And it's
Mhm.
like, even if it's something you're not used to, like if you were doing this and that back then, now we need you to do this. This is what's gonna help the team. So like adjusting from like what you're used to doing to what you have to do, like in the position you're in, that's the adjustment I was talking about.
Mhm.
Like, and once we figured out our roles, it was all about just doing it. And you can see that each one of us know what our role is, and we're actually doing our role, and
Mhm.
that's why we're winning, because we're playing our role.
Mhm. And speaking of that role and everyone knowing their role, let's go back to Coach Richards and her role, the role that she's played in this. You talked about how honest she was throughout the recruiting process and consistent. And once you got on campus, talk about the relationship, how it evolved, and how she's put you. Let's talk about you first, specifically to be in a position to be successful and what you learned under her leadership so far.
Um, that too, like when I came here, like I've never been coached by, you know, a woman before, so it
Okay.
was it was it was different. She's passionate. She's
Mm-hmm.
she's passionate. She's a perfectionist. Like if you run the wrong way, she'll be like, "Stop, run this way." So it's different. So I mean, the at first like it was a lot, but it's just like once you got used to it, you're like, okay, like I understand now. You ask questions here and there for a better understanding, and it's just like it was moving quick, but like I said, I had to adjust to it.
Mm-hmm.
And once like I learned how to work with it and adjust with it, everything else became easy. And like I said, she told me what she wanted from me as a player, and we had meetings where she would ask, "What do you need from me as a coach?"
Mm-hmm.
And as a coach, I mean, as a player, the one thing you want from your coach is one, obviously, for them to believe in you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's just as a player. Another thing is like, like encouragement, energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, and that's what she has done. She has, fed the team encouragement, and she's been feeding the team energy, and that's what we're rolling off of. So I would say like it was a process, but right now the process, it was all worth it because we're
Yeah.
at a good stage right now. and
Yeah.
everything's working.
Yeah, definitely. We see the improvement from this team from the early on in the season up to now. We see the improvement. You guys have really won the fans over. And then you yourself, you've already made a name for yourself as one of the best shooters in the SWAC. I remember you had 7 threes against Alabama State and you led the team in scoring. I think it was 23 that game. Coming
Yeah.
from NAIA, why do you think you've been able to have so much individual success moving up 2 levels? Not just one, but you jumped 2 levels up to Division 1 because that's a big leap.
Honestly, like what I can say is I stayed down to the come up. Like that's what it was. I took what I had. I made the best out of it. You know, I wanted better for myself, and once I got better, I'm still here, and I still want better for myself. Like at the NAIA level, I hit 6 threes one day. So for me
Okay.
to come here and hit 7 threes, it's like wow, you know. So it's like now I want more, and
Mm,
it's just like yeah, like the statistics are showing and stuff. Like yeah, I'm a good shooter. Um, yeah, I'm up there, but not that I pay attention to it, but it's just like
mhm,
the fact that I'm getting recognized for it. It's like it's motivating me even more, and it's
mhm,
just like it's like I put in the work. Like I be in the gym for real. Like I be putting up shots. Those
okay.
7 threes don't
Mhm,
just they don't just go in just magically, right? Like
mhm,
I put in work. Like I put in time for those threes to go in. So it's just like it's good to see that my hard work is definitely paying off.
mhm,
And like I said, I want more. I
mhm.
want more.
Yeah,
I want to get better. I want to make more noise, and I want to be that role player for my team. Because
yeah,
my teammates feed off the energy, and little do they know that I feed off their energy too. Like
yeah.
that's what got me going that game. Every time I made a three, my teammates
The
are the
bench.
first people to
Yeah,
jump up. Like before I even shoot, they're standing
yeah,
up.
they're standing up.
So it's
Yep,
like when you see that, like that will turn you up even more. Like that will
yeah,
make you want to shoot it even more. So it's just like without my teammates, the coaches and stuff, like those threes, those those threes wouldn't go in, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun game. The bench was like you said, man. They were going crazy on the sidelines,
Mhm.
and they were so they were so excited for you. So we're definitely glad to see that. For us fans, your transition to D1, it seems seamless to us because if you ask the average fan after watching you, if you were to ask him where you possibly came from prior to this, that most people probably wouldn't think NAIA. They would think you were already in D1 and just moved to another D1 team. So again, the transition has been, it seems easily, but again, you put in the work. Talk about the
Mhm.
challenges though, because I know there are some challenges that have come with that. It hasn't been easy or as smooth as it may seem. So what have been the biggest obstacles making that move?
Um, the biggest obstacle, for one is just, you know, being from a whole different country.
Hmm.
That's one. You know, like I mentioned before, my mother's typically a single mother.
Hmm.
There's three of us. So it's just like the fact that, I had to leave and be independent, that
Hmm.
was the hardest thing too. Like being an international student in a
Hmm.
different country. Other people get opportunities that you don't get.
That's true.
So, that part was, that was a big transition for me. Like I had to like make a way for myself.
Hmm.
I had to grow up quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a challenge for sure. But like I said, it made me a better person. And once I became a better person, I became a better player too.
Hmm.
What else would I say would be a challenge? I mean, when I first came to JUCO, making friends was definitely a challenge. Everyone
Really?
Americans speak so fast,
Okay.
and like I have an accent to them, so it's just like it was just a lot.
Hmm.
So like now I'm at a point where it's easy for me to like to bond with a teammate, or like
Yeah.
it's easier. But before it was not that easy. Like
Hmm.
I was antisocial. I was to myself.
Really?
Like yes.
Wow.
So
That
it's
seems
just
hard
like
to believe.
college made me like an extrovert, cause but
Wow.
I'm both. Like it really depends who's talking to me at
Okay.
what time, out and what, like what point of the day. So I would say that was a challenge too. And I already said like identity, like just finding myself. Like, what could I bring to the table?
Hmm.
That for sure. And I would say just sometimes it would be confidence. Like some
Hmm.
days it's there, some days it's not.
Hmm.
Anxiety gets the best of me sometimes, but I try to play through it and stuff. But yeah,
Great
just little
stuff.
things.
Great stuff. Awesome story. I'm so glad that we had you on the show. It was more than I was expecting. A lot of great things coming from you. So I know the fans are going to love hearing this because, again, they've become huge fans on the court, but getting to know you off the court has been definitely a treat. So we appreciate your time today.
I appreciate you for having me. I have fun talking.
All right. All right. So before we let you go, I'm going to
Mhm.
put you on the hot seat, though. I'm going to put you on the hot
Okay.
seat. I got some rapid fire questions for you. So let's
Okay.
see what your answers are. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I know it's a brand new team, getting to know new
hmm
teammates. So let's see how well you know your teammates. Give me the name of any teammate and tell me where they're from.
Okay. Talia, St. Louis,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
AD, Mississippi. Um, what's it called? I'm gonna say Joy, Maryland. That's the
Okay.
first
That's
three
good.
people that
You
popped in my head.
you gave me three. I only asked for one, so that's good. That's good.
Oh,
Okay. That's fine.
you said one.
No,
Okay,
that's
okay,
fine. No,
sorry.
that's fine. I was want to see if you knew one, but you know a bunch. Okay. That was an easy one, though. That was just a
Okay.
warm up. I knew you knew where somebody was from. All right. Give me the name of any teammate and tell me what school they went to before Jackson State.
I'm gonna have to say Talia, Kentucky.
All right, TD, that's your dog. So let's skip
That's
her.
my
Somebody
dog.
else.
It is.
That's
It
your
is. It's
dog.
my
Nah,
dog.
that's cheating. Come on, give me somebody else. Give me somebody else.
Who else? Let's see. How many seconds do I have? Cause
You you have a
holy,
teammate who played her former team and y'all won.
my former team.
Y'all went on the road, non-conference, and beat her
Oh,
former team.
J5. What's it called? What's that school called? ETSU. Yes. Yeah.
All right, all
Thank you
right.
for the
Let's
hints.
see. Let's see. I wanted to help you out on that one. Here we go.
Yeah.
Tell me where either of your coaches played in college.
Oh, coach. What is that team called? Is it? I know it starts with the N. Uh, N is. I don't want to say no. Is it Nevada? No. No. It starts with the
Okay.
N. I know that.
Okay.
What is
One
this?
coach, an assistant coach, played
Oh,
a team that
Coach
you're gonna
Hall
play in.
played for Grambling.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna say
I was
assistant
thinking
coach
about the
played it
school
in the
Coach
conference.
Richards went to though. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, Coach Hall Grambling. I knew that.
All right. Tallest person on the team. That's an easy one. Should be.
Ruthie.
How tall is Ruthie?
Ruthie. 6'4". Is
Shortest
that
person
what
on
it
the
says
team.
on paper?
Yeah. Yeah. It
Really?
does.
Right on?
Yeah.
Hey,
Shortest person on the team.
AD.
Okay. How tall is she?
4'11".
Really? Hold on. Let me
I
look
don't
that one
know.
up. Let me be
Maybe
sure.
she's five.
Let me
I
see.
might be playing with her on that one. Maybe she's 5 feet. I ain't
Let
gonna
me
lie.
look it up. Let me go. I don't think it's 4'11. Come on now. You gotta
I'll laugh if it is.
5'4". Okay. 4'11. I hope she doesn't see this.
Five
Come on
four.
now. 4'11. Yeah.
What? I might be tripping,
Yeah.
huh?
Come on. 4'11. Come on now. I hope she sees this. I'm sending this to her. All right.
Sorry,
Name
AD.
any nearby or neighboring city to Jackson.
Pearl.
Okay. All right, Pearl. Give me
That's
the name of
that's
any
one.
building on campus.
Tiger Center.
Okay. I'll accept that.
No? Student Center.
I, no, I'll accept that. I said the name of the building, but
Oh,
that's
the name of it? Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I
All
don't know.
those buildings have names.
Really? Redix.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's see here.
Redix.
You talked about that soul food, so give me the best food you've eaten in Mississippi.
The best food? Like the fried fish, with the mac and cheese, the green,
Okay. You're a
and the yam.
Mississippian now. You're a true
Yeah, I
Mississippian
love
now.
yam. I love, love, love yams.
Had you ever had yams
Americans,
before you got to Mississippi?
for sure.
Okay, okay, all right.
Americans did their thing with yams.
No
Hmm.
doubt. No doubt. All right, here we go. If there's one, because I know you're the sharpshooter, you're the sniper, but if there's one person on the team who could beat you in a 3-point shootout, who would it be?
AD,
Really? Okay.
yes, AD can
I,
shoot.
I think you just trying to make up for earlier in case he
No,
watches
no,
this.
no, 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 no. Seriously, she can shoot. She be in the gym
No,
often too.
I'm, I'm just messing with
Hey,
you.
seriously, like one time we did like we rotated shooting, and when I came back and seen her percentage, I'm like, damn, her
It's like that.
percentage
Okay.
is up there. Yeah, she can
Okay. All
shoot.
right. Okay. AD 4'11" AD can shoot. All right. Here we go. So since you're from Toronto, give me the greatest Toronto Raptor of all time.
Low Berete, that's my brother. Low
Really?
Berete,
He
he's
played for
the
the Raptors?
hardest. Yes, my brother's a rapper. He's the
No,
hardest.
no, no,
He's
no, no,
the
no.
best. What?
Toronto Raptor.
Oh, Raptor. I thought you said a
Basketball,
rapper.
NBA, NBA,
Okay.
NBA.
Oh, I don't even pay attention to Toronto, bro. Like, does
You
it have
got
to be currently or just
no
in
greatest of
general?
all time. You got Vince Carter, Chris Bosh, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry. You can even throw Kawhi in there. He went up there 1 year and won a chip.
Honestly, I'm just gonna say it off what everyone else is saying. I guess we're gonna have to go with Vince Carter.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
probably the universal answer. So let's go
okay.
back to this rap.
I thought
So
you
your
said a
brother, talk
rapper.
about your brother. He's a rapper.
Yeah, I thought you said the greatest rapper of Toronto. You feel me? The greatest rapper would be my brother. I know everyone wants to hear Drake, but it's not Drake.
So your brother is a better rapper than Drake.
Yes.
Okay, you got to give us his info, his social
Yeah.
media, YouTube or something. How can we find him? We
Y'all
got
gotta
to
type in my last name, Lil Beretti.
okay, and better than Drake. You saying that on
Better than
record?
Drake. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. I'll
You
let you
know,
off the
that would
hot
have been
seat.
a common thing to ask and
Mhm.
expected me to say Drake.
Yeah.
That's
Are you a
that's what
Drake
everyone
fan?
said.
Are you a Drake fan?
I mean, yeah, his music is, I'm not a fan though, but
Just Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
I'm gonna have to say Drake because I
Okay.
don't really listen to Kendrick.
Okay. All right. Did you know that Drake has some ties to Jackson State and the city of Jackson and the Sonic Boom?
Really?
Some
What
deep,
ties?
deep ties. I mean, the ties go
Really?
way back.
Wow. I did not know that.
Hold on, let me show you.
That's interesting though.
That was Drake's idea, mind you,
Come on.
because Drake came to Jackson. I brought Drake to Jackson State.
Hmm.
Drake experienced the football game, the band, so he experienced it. He see me and CJ. When CJ was my first assistant ever, and kind of grew with me and became Drake's role manager. It's still that to this day. So Drake's idea, since the biggest the what the song him and J. Cole did was, about competition in sport, he wanted to create a football environment. But he wanted to add the marching band that he saw. He wanted the football environment like he saw when he came to Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? So
Want
he
to talk
wanted
about
the
that?
band. So he wanted the band, he wanted dancers, you know what I'm saying? So he wanted that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Right. Yep. So a deep
Yeah, I
history.
didn't
It
know
actually
that.
goes back way further than that, long before that. Before Drake became the Drake that we know, he was already tied into Jackson. He was coming to the city and continues to show love
And
there.
just an example of him is just more recently of Drake. We was out here a couple months ago in Atlanta, And he was like, "Yo, Tez, man." He was like, "It's been 10 years since we really, we started this journey together." And he was just like, "Yeah, man, and let's go to Jackson." I was like, "What?" He was like,
Wow.
"This is his idea." He was like, "Let's go to Jackson." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, man, let's go back to when, you brought me to your club and nobody knew who I was." And
Wow.
and we hit that stage, and like he was like, let's relive those days. I was like, for one, bro, nobody can afford to book you in Jackson for a party, for one. like you definitely outgrown the Jackson market, and what the hell you getting? You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I was like, and for two, we ain't nobody the same thing. I was like, nobody can afford to get you there. I was like, he was like, nah. He was like, don't worry about that, but I'm not worried. I don't want no. He's like, I don't want no money. He was like, I don't want no money, man. He's like, I'm saying, we'll take the jet, we'll have a fly there. Just book a party and let's just go have fun. He was like, I don't want anything from it. I just want to go back to the beginning and celebrate, and let's look at
Wow.
what 10 years later looked like from when we started, when you was bringing me to Jackson, when nobody really knew me. And as big as he is, for the biggest artist in the world, he's still humble to say, to be like, let's go to Jackson, Mississippi.
Shout out to Drake, Drizzy.
Yeah, shout out to Drake.
All right, DB. Hey, we appreciate you. Appreciate your time. We know we caught you in the middle of the season, but we had to do it. The fans, again, they fallen in love with you and this team, so they want to get to know you and learn more about you. And I know they're going to love this story and just be inspired by your journey. So continue to play well, continue to do great things. Is this your final year of eligibility?
Yeah. After this year, I want to go overseas.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well, we
that's
wish you the
another.
best.
Yeah.
We know you can do it, so keep it up. Message to the fans. They're all watching. They're all listening. So what do you want to say to the Jackson State fans?
I just want to say thank you for the support. Like, we appreciate the support. Like, at the end of the day, like, these games, I feel like we're winning it because of how loud you guys are during games, because the support you guys are putting into the program. Like, you guys play a big role in it. So we definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for that.
All right. And for the fans who aren't following you on social media, let them know where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Instagram, big_Berete, big_Berete. That's my Instagram. And I'm also on Twitter, Diaka Berete, DB_Berete on Twitter. So yeah.
All right. There you have it, fans. The sniper, DB. All right. We appreciate it. Take
Thank
care.
you so much for having me. Have a great day.
My pleasure.
Tiger Talk TV is presented by Bet Online.